Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Harry and today I'm going to be talking about how I use somatic tracking to help with my long COVID symptoms and some things that you might want to be aware of. So somatic tracking is a chronic pain technique that's utilized to help you to become more aware of sensations that are going on within your body and help to kind of dampen down those pain signals. So I've talked a lot about this after reading the book The Way Out, which is a fantastic read and I really recommend that you guys give that a go. I found that book incredibly useful. And essentially the whole premise of the book is outlining this chronic back pain study that they undertook a little while ago. Essentially they had a number of people with chronic back pain and they got them to practice these techniques, these kind of neuroplastic techniques of positive visualizations, sending in messages of safety, and they utilize this technique of somatic tracking where you watch and you simply observe any of the kind of negative sensations or pain that you're feeling in your body at that time. Obviously, there's a lot of debate over, whether these kind of brain training practices and, neuroplastic techniques can actually help with conditions like long COVID. Is it kind of neuroplastic pain? And, all of these kind of discussion. I won't go into that too much today. And I can only speak from my experience and just say that I got a huge amount of benefit from utilizing these techniques. I feel like I've had some very extreme suffering and I know that they have helped me considerably. So I just wanted to share what has worked for me and my kind of approach with it as well. Anyway, firstly, in terms of how I actually do this somatic tracking, and then onto some things that I would be aware of. Firstly, it's quite a simple technique, but it's one that needs to be done with a kind of air of lightness and sort of curiosity. So I'll settle down, I'll lie down, maybe I'll just sit down on the sofa, and I will gently bring my attention to whatever symptoms or sensations that seem to be bothering me. So very often for me, it's kind of like brain fog. It's right behind my skull, in the sort of front of my brain. There's a lot of pressure there. Maybe it's sometimes in my chest. And the whole premise is to try and just watch it with curiosity and without any judgment. So I don't know if you're anything like me, but I spend a lot of my time constantly fixated on symptoms, noticing where I'm feeling something. Oh God, there's that brain fog again. Oh, there's that. And being on that high alert doesn't help your system kind of settle down. I found that incredibly useful to sit down, take stock, take a few deep breaths, and then I'll just observe. And I will notice what's going on. Maybe it's pulsating, maybe it's hot, maybe it's moving, and just gently and carefully observing those sensations and seeing what sort of comes up. It's quite interesting when you do this for a little while, because certainly for me, I noticed that often the symptoms and sensations seem to move, they kind of drift around, they ebb and flow. The whole point of this technique is that it gradually accustoms your brain and your nervous system to the sensations that are coming in. So it helps you to be more comfortable but less reactive to whatever is going on. And they saw some incredible results within that chronic back pain study. And I know a lot of people who have had a lot of similar benefits with long COVID as well. So that's my sort of process with it. And I try and find a little bit of time once a day to ease in and do some. And it's been really, really beneficial for me. It's one of the things that I think has brought me on the most. So I hope that's useful to you guys as well. A couple of words of warning around this. And I think I have learned this recently, where I had a very big setback following a silent meditation retreat, and I had these intense neurological symptoms, and unlike anything I'd had before. And the main thing I want people to be aware of, certainly for in my case, was there is a time and a place for these kind of introspective techniques. So when you're in a state of incredibly high alert and really, really struggling, this is not the time to be diving inwards and to be doing these kind of techniques. So they talk about this a lot in the chronic back pain study, that when your pain is a kind of 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10, or your long COVID symptoms are really high, you have a lot of neuro symptoms, you're really feeling hyperactive and hyper aroused and really struggling, that is not the time to be doing a technique like this, because you're only going to have a negative experience with it. So it's not a case as more is always better, but a case of judging where you are and adjusting accordingly. So in those kind of periods where I'm really hyper aware, hyper alert, I kind of engage in sort of distraction techniques and coping mechanisms. Things like a cold shower, I do the kind of visualizations, kind of top-down approaches. That is stuff from your like brain pushing down into your body as opposed to kind of feeling within your body. That's not the time to be doing those sort of techniques like somatic tracking. I would always stick to somatic tracking in a time when you're a little bit more stable and a little bit more relaxed. That's certainly how I've felt it benefit me, and the rest of the time stuck to kind of coping and other kind of distraction mechanisms. It's been a really beneficial technique for me, and yeah, I hope you guys can get some use out of it as well. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to let me know, and I look forward to hearing from you soon. Stay healthy.